Down this PC. Oh. Hi guys. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? Anyway, let's put this out of the way and sort of tidy up, put this back. Oh well, since you caught my little behind the scenes not supposed to be recorded action, let's talk about PCs and, well, what type of PCs we need to look for, or components to build a PC, before we get into that frustrating PC rage and start smashing up our computers. Anyway, back in a moment and let's look at my wishes of what I want in my upcoming PC. Okay, see you in a moment. Right guys, finally got over that bit of PC rage. Now the reason why I'm feeling that way is because the computer that I bought only 5 or 6 months ago is now passé. It's so slow, sluggish, completely out of date, even though I upgraded up to 8 gig of RAM, which I thought was perfect. But I was wrong, because several other components in my PC and now redundant in anyway. And even though I bought a new monitor, because my TV monitor is not up to scratch for editing photographs, great for video, my video graphics is not powerful enough to drive this to give it quality. In fact, I'm getting worse quality from this monitor, 27-inch monitor, I'm getting from my TV, because my PC can't drive the necessary graphics that need to drive such a high quality monitor. So what do? I've looked at what Adobe say they need as many requirements, and they overshadow everything that I've got currently, and I'm going to build a PC to meet that requirement and a bit more to future-proof it. So let's talk about the case first. The case is an important element when you're building. Now I'm looking for a full-size case. I want there to be plenty of room for ventilation. Ventilation is important because you're going to be putting high-spec components that are going to get hot, and especially if you're working it hard with Lightroom, video editing, they're going to get hot. So you need the ventilation to cool those elements down, components down. Otherwise it can be damaging your PC and it'll be switching off all the time. So the case I'm going to get is the CTI Vanquish gaming toolless case, which is a rough price of £38. Now it's a quick caveat guys, this is my wish list, it's not a recommendation that you go and buy, but I'm hoping this list will be useful to any other photographers who are having problems with their PC and are looking to perhaps build their own beefed up PC, but just need this sort of guideline. I'm not a computer whiz, I'm a newbie, but I know how to do research. I've done my research, spoken to people that I know, particularly my brother-in-law, who's very well versed in computers. So I've done my research, and this is my wish list, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you. So this, the Vanquish, it's a full-size case, and it takes an ATX motherboard. Now the motherboard, even though it's may sound all gobbledygook to you if you're new to computers, just take a look at it, help it as a guidance, then you can do your own research and find your own needs and meet your own needs. So this is an ATX board, and the processor socket that I'm looking to get in my motherboard, because that's the next component, will be an ATX motherboard. As I've got a case to fit the ATX motherboard, which is a full-size motherboard, but an AMD, I don't particularly want Intel, I'm going for the AMD socket processor, as I believe I've been told they're faster. So the AMD AM3 Plus, that's a newer socket in the AM3 Plus socket. Now my motherboard, which is popping up there, I've made sure that I can upgrade it in the future. Even though I may not go to its max now, I will know perhaps in 2 years time I can upgrade, because guaranteed Lightroom and Photoshop, I should say, will upgrade their specs as they push for further requirements, further features. You know, software always pushes the limits, so I will definitely need to upgrade in the future. And this motherboard allows you to upgrade to 8-core processor. Now I don't need an 8-core processor. I am personally looking for a quad-core or a hex-core, 6-core, because Lightroom at the moment says the minimum requirement is a dual-core, and I have a dual-core now, and I can tell you it's not that great. I feel that I need to upgrade further to a quad-core. Some of you may be experiencing the same problems. Now, if I can, I'm going to be looking for a hex core, but I'll go into that in a minute. So this motherboard is important because that's the foundation of my PC. This can go up to 8-core processor, and also the RAM. I currently have 8 gig of RAM, which is not doing that great for me. So this PC, the motherboard for PC, can go up to maximum of 32 RAM. So that's great. I'm not going to get 32 RAM, I'm going to go up to 16, but I know this motherboard will take future upgrades. That's the motherboard. Now, to drive all my components, I need a power supply. I've worked it out that all I need is a 550 watt power supply. Now, not too expensive. I found them around £30, so that's good enough for me. A good quality Corsair power supply, so that's a 550 watt power supply for 35 quid. My motherboard, I forgot to give the prices, is £51, and the case is £38. So those are required. Now we're going to look at the minimum requirements that Adobe are asking. Well, they say that for RAM, the minimum you need is 2 gig, recommended 8 gig. Well, I can tell you from my experience that 8 gig is probably the base, and you really should be looking, well, I think I'm going to be looking to upgrade up to 16 gig of RAM, just to give it that extra bit of room and speed Photoshop and Lightroom, the process in my workflow up just that bit more, because at the moment it's struggling on 8 gig of RAM. Now you can purchase the super gaming like Kingston Fury or Corsair Vengeance, but I don't think that's necessary. I'm going to go for the 16 gig DDR3 RAM, non-ECC, non-error correction, which is slightly faster than the ECC, which are used for servers and in big companies where data is vital, that it doesn't get lost, but that makes it a bit slower. So non-EEC RAM is a bit faster. Look it up yourself so you understand a bit more if it doesn't mean anything to you. So, and that's going, I've looked an average for £45. Right, so processor. Now Adobe recommend a 2-core processor as a minimum. I've got a 2-core processor, AMD processor in my computer. It's a 2-core 3.2 gigahertz, and I'm struggling, but there's a reason why I'm struggling. I'm going to explain. Right, when you have with Adobe Lightroom, in the settings you have a little tick box that says tick GPU. Now GPU is your graphics processor, and if your graphic processor meets the requirements that Adobe state in their information on their website, you can tick it and it releases the pressure and stress of your main CPU. Now, in my case, where my graphics processor is integrated in the motherboard, it's not separate, it's not a standalone one, it's not that powerful. So what Lightroom Photoshop does, they automatically discard it and use the CPU, which is the computer processing unit, as the main engine to drive it. Now that puts a lot of stress on it. So my 2-core processor is running slow, so I'm going to get a 4 or a 6-core processor. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to run twice or 3 times as fast as my 2-core. What the cores does is give it a bit more oomph to multitask, but it's necessary because sometimes you're working between Lightroom, Photoshop and maybe other software, so it's good to have that extra. And hopefully I'm going to get a hex core, which, let's have a look, I found on Amazon at running about £58. That's, let me check that, £58. That's the AMD Bulldozer FX 6100. Now that's what I'm going to be looking for, to give it that extra room, because I don't want to go to the minimum all the time. I just want to give it that extra room so I can, as I've said earlier on, upgrade later, because my motherboard takes up to 8 cores. But that's all well and good, but if I don't have the correct level of graphics card, it's still going to put a bit of pressure on my CPU. So next to the graphics card, now I'm going for a Radeon R7. They also recommend the R9, but they're way too expensive that I'm willing to pay. I'm not going to pay £200 for a graphics card. The R7 range are acceptable to Photoshop and Lightroom, and I have seen this particular one for around £60, and it builds up, but this is I'm building up this for to last me for a while and to save all that hag that I'm getting now with my PC, and I don't want to be any more bouts of PC rage. So the R7 Radeon range, I'm going to look at the 730, the R7 GT 730 is what I'm going to be looking for, and that's around £60, sometimes a bit less, and that's for a brand new one. There are second-hand ones, I could probably get a more powerful one, and that's for a 4 gig graphics card. So 4 gig R7 730 graphics card will then allow me to tick that little box in Photoshop, and thus take pressure off my CPU. So it'll work a lot better. You've got the graphics card working, taking over the graphics. You've got the RAM, 16 gig of RAM, helping along, giving more room for data to move back and forth. And then you've got a 6-core processor allowing that ability to multitask. So everything is allowing me to do what I need to do without my PC crashing. Now, as I said before, ventilation, that is essential. Now my case comes with 3 fans, 120 millimeter fans to allow for ventilation on the side and at the rear. Now there are fans, an option for 2 more fans. Now they're not particularly expensive. I can get a Corsair dual pack for LED ones, always look nice, but you don't have to, you can get them cheaper. But I'm going to go for the LED pack for £17. So that's extra ventilation. I'm not going to go crazy on a water cooled system. I'm not a gamer. I just want to know that I can future-proof my PC and keep everything cool. And I'll tell you why it's important to keep cool. This monitor, the charger that comes with it is gets incredibly hot. I don't know if it's a flaw in the monitor, but while the monitor's good, the charger gets hot, it shuts off after 20 minutes. What I've had to do, let me show you, is from my range of PC, I've put a old processor heatsink onto this, attached it with special heatsink paste. It's good to do your research. And then what I've done, I've plugged a little fan, it's a USB fan next to it, and it just, the heat is taken. Let me show you a bit better. Right, there it goes. So let me start again. This is a processor heatsink, only a small one. The heat from the charger is transferred to this. I've got a small fan directly next to the charger USB fan, and that blows the cold air through this and takes the heat away, and it's no longer switches off after 20 minutes. It should be unnecessary, but maybe it's a flaw in the system. But the fact it works perfect without it. This doesn't get nowhere near as hot as it did before, and now it's last. I've tested it for hours. It's no problem, no switching off. And there's just a bit of ingenuity sometimes you need to do to get around a flaw in the system that shouldn't be there. So that's that. Let me put it back on. So that's that. So that's my basic list. I'll put all the components. These are my wish list, my bucket list for my upcoming PC. Other bits I have, like a card reader. I have a USB card with several USB slots, so I've added another 6 USB sockets because I need them. I have a lot of components that are used through USB, like my graphics board, all my hard drives. I've got 3 or 4 hard drives. Let me show you. This is a USB 3 hard drive, which has 2 400 gig hard drives in here, and it copies from one to another as a backup system. I will be replacing, because this can take up to 2 terabyte hard drives. So it's just my way of future-proofing, because I've lost a lot of data in the past. So I hope that's been helpful to you. I hope it's not been too boring, but this is one way to, if you're experiencing the same problems I am with regards to my PC slowing down, I want to future-proof myself so I don't have to keep repeating this process. And hopefully this has been helpful to you, and you too can take from this a bit of guidance and build your own PC, or at least know what your PC, if you're going to buy a ready built one, what it might need to meet your requirements. Anyway, I'm Jean. This has been an unusual video for me to do, but I thought it might be helpful to you guys out there. Let me know if there's any points that you think I've missed, or maybe I should be looking at a different component if you think I might be better off buying, because I'm a newbie. I've only done this through research. So you let me know your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on this. Give me any, if it's been useful to you, let me know. If you think I can improve on any components, let me know. But either way, I'm Jean. I always appreciate your time. Do give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and please do subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye. See you later. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. Well, I hope you liked the video, and if you want all the updates and when new videos come out, please do subscribe. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.